This segment of the news is brought to you by Smitty's Cards and Coins. Would you like to know what your collectibles are worth? Come by 2281 Postal Road, Unit 4, across from the post office.
Welcome back to News 46. North Carolina lawmakers today passed a bill that repeals the state's controversial bathroom law. Officials say they have lost businesses, major sporting events, and concerts since they passed House Bill 2. The governor says it has stained their reputation and discriminated against their people by causing great economic harm in many of the state's communities. He wanted a law that added protections for LGBTQ North Carolinians, but said that wasn't possible with Republicans holding a supermajority in the legislature. Today repeals last year's House Bill 2. That bill had required that people at government-run facilities must use bathrooms and locker rooms that correspond to the gender on their birth certificate if the rooms in question are multiple occupancy.
All right, and here's what's happening across our state.
Assembly Bill 238 was introduced into the legislature. The bill seeks to prevent Nevadans from importing, selling, and breeding new exotic animals, but wouldn't have large impact on most of the current owners. However, current owners would be required under the law to take extra precautions to protect the general public, which includes getting liability insurance. The Assembly Natural Resources, Agriculture, and Mining Committee heard the bill that includes exotic animals from bears, all types of large cats, to primates, alligators, and crocodiles. Senate Bills 271 and 272 have been presented. The legislation aims at protecting domestic well owners from possible water cutoffs and authorizing the state engineer to limit how much water domestic wells can pump in over-appropriated basins. Domestic wells are allowed to pump 2 acre-feet of water annually. If enacted, SB 272 would only apply to over-appropriated basins like Pahrump for new wells drilled after July 1st. It does not authorize the state engineer to restrict withdrawals from existing domestic wells or wells requiring repair or replacement. Both of these bills do not stop the state engineer's ability to regulate domestic wells. The Humboldt-Tiobe National Forest is seeking public input on the Lee Canyon Ski Area Master Development Plan Phase 1 project proposal to improve and expand their facilities on the Spring Mountain National Recreation Area. Comments received will help the forest prepare an environmental impact statement addressing the potential effects of implementing this proposal. The comment period for this project is open now until May 8th. The public can view the scoping material for this project at fs.usda.gov. The new state Supreme Court office building has officially opened in Las Vegas. The building was constructed from 125 tons of sourced marble stone in just 14 months. Starting next week, the new building on 4th and Clark will hear some of the most important criminal and civil cases in Nevada. Until now, the state Supreme Court was renting the 17th floor of the Regional Justice Center. The new lease is supposed to save the court $500,000 in rent. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. That's your news across Nevada.
Thanks, Deanna. Now let's join Angela Miles with today's Business First Brief.
Topping our news, the Supreme Court is weighing in on a case affecting retailers and credit cards. The top court has asked the lower court in New York to review a law that bars retailers in that state from charging customers more when they use credit cards. The Supreme Court agreed that the law impinged on the free speech rights of retailers because it mandates what they could say to customers. Yoga pants company Lululemon missed on earnings. That stock tanked more than 12% on the news, even as revenue topped Wall Street analysts' expectations. And executives at PwC are breathing a sigh of relief. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences voted to retain the accounting firm for its Oscar ballot counting. We were given a close-up of the ballot briefcase a couple of weeks ahead of that famous snafu of the wrong film being announced for Best Picture. Moonlight, of course, was the winner. Case closed.
Three men were arrested for auto theft shortly after they were pulled over for speeding.
3 individuals were taken into custody by the Nye County Sheriff's Office in relation to possession of a stolen vehicle. According to the declaration of arrest, Deputy Ramirez with the Nye County Sheriff's Office conducted a traffic stop on a vehicle that was described as a dark-colored SUV on US 95 and Connor Drive. The reason for the stop appeared to be speeding. The deputy made contact with the driver, who stated that he didn't have his driver's license because it was left in a car that was stolen the week prior. He gave false information as to his name, saying that his name was Dominic Jones, when in fact his name was Jordan Jones. The vehicle that was stopped was a GMC Acadia, but the license plate returned to a 4-door Cadillac. Another occupant inside the car said that he didn't have identification and that in fact his name was Peter Philberick. After speaking to this individual, he finally admitted that in fact his name was Curtis Engel and that he advised that a gentleman by the name of Jack Smith that was also inside the car advised the 2 other occupants to say that they had just purchased the car from his Uncle Mike, who was currently deployed overseas. After checking the VIN number on the vehicle, it was returned stolen out of Medford, Oregon. All were taken into custody for possession of a stolen vehicle. Curtis Engel and Jordan Jones were also charged with use of another person's identification to avoid prosecution. They were transported to the Nye County Sheriff's Office Detention Center. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46.
All right, well, don't blow away. We'll be right back.